This is for both genders, but mainly women. And I only say this because I see a lot of girls around me do this and it irritates me. Okay, so we go out and we hoe. You go out, you have this point in your life where you just want to smash anything and everything. And then you're finally like, I want to settle down. I want to get with a man. And then you give them all these stipulations. They gotta do this, they gotta do that just to talk to you.
Okay, so first things first, having commentary like this and agreeing with men will not make men pick you more, okay? I think by now we've seen that the goalpost moves all over the place, okay? They're not gonna pick you more, okay? So you agreeing with them, being like, yeah, you know, these women, they don't deserve anything. You know, if they had a hoe phase, they can't expect to ask the men that they want to be with and settle down with to have basically the things that they want. And there's just so much wrong with that thinking. Having a hoe phase and then deciding to settle down, or not even having a hoe phase, just having a phase where you're not looking for a relationship, okay? But you're actively dating, you might not even be sleeping with these men. But, you know, for the women who are, we're not here to shame you. You know, you're an adult, do your thing. You're a single woman, go do single women things. But when you do decide to settle down with a man, there is absolutely nothing wrong with having standards for that man, because newsflash, the rules change. And the rules change because you might want to have children, which means that he's going to have integrity. He's going to have to just display that he's a good partner, would be a good father, is stable enough to be a father. Like, there's so much more that goes into that. Like, commentary like this is just so basic. It's like, well, you slept with Brad when, you know, you weren't looking for a relationship, and now that you're ready to settle down, you should go for a Brad. Maybe Brad is only good for one thing, okay? Yeah, I said it, because you know what? Women can think that too. Maybe Brad is an F-boy, but you don't mind because you're in the F-girl season. But when it comes time to settle down and get married and have babies and, you know, do all the white picket fence things, you are going to need to pick a white picket fence person, okay? So don't allow people to tell you what you deserve. If you want to be with a man who is financially stable, or if you want to be with a man who, I don't know, I don't care what your requirements are, okay? They're your requirements to have. And your past does not dictate what you get to have today. It's quite literally like an employer saying to you, well, why the hell should we pay you 100 grand when we know that 5 years ago, okay, or even a year ago, you were earning 40 grand at, you know, Jobs R Us? Why should we pay you 100 grand? And you're like, hold on, I've changed. You know, I've done the studying, I've got the certification, maybe I got a master's, you know, or whatever. I have more experience now, and now I know exactly what I want. And then being like, no, I'm sorry, but you know, there's no entry here because, you know, at that one period of time in your life, you accepted less than. It doesn't make sense, okay? This is your life, your one and only life. It seems like the only people who can't have redemption are women, okay? A man can quite literally go to prison for anything, and society must give him a chance. We can't hold his past against him, but oh my God, let you have a hoe phase, okay? And the world ends. The only person who can dictate what you get to have is you. That's it. Nobody else gets to have a say in it. And to be perfectly frank, you really shouldn't be announcing it anyway. Keep it zipped. Nobody needs to know what you're looking for, okay? You do that with your actions, with how you carry yourself, with how you behave, okay? And if you're at a stage where you're not attracting the type of man that you want to be attracting, that's an energy issue, okay? That's a we need to do the work issue, okay? Don't fight with me. It's the truth. It's the facts, okay? Maybe you're not as leveled up as you need to be to attract the type of man that you want, okay? And that's just the realness. That's just the facts. I said it, okay? But that doesn't mean that you're never going to be. It just means that you need to work on it, and you will. That's the end of it. Like, it's really not that hard. So there we have it, ladies, okay? Only you can dictate what you get to have, all right? Nobody else gets to make the decision for you if you're willing to put in the time and the work and the energy, okay, into anything. That goes for anything, not just men, anything, okay? Only you get to decide that. Don't be a slow learner.